With your CIGTV News Update this Friday, I'm Donna Bush. We begin with a recap of the week's Public Accounts Committee meetings in the Legislative Assembly. A CIGTV crew met up with Chairman of the PAC, MLA EZZARD Miller, who briefly discussed what happened on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, we were dealing with the CIMA, Cayman Monetary Authority report, and specifically with the numbers reported for the insurance industry. And we were able to ascertain that, unlike the public's perception or what the public has been told, the health insurance companies made a handsome profit of $51.5 million in 2015-16, and the property insurance made about a $48 million profit. The disappointing thing, and what we'll have to make recommendations on, is it does not appear that the regulatory authorities are using the information that they gather to influence and make recommendations on government policy. They seem to simply be adding up the numbers and make sure that they comply with the statutory requirements. But we're more concerned that they need to be, as a regulatory body, also making policy suggestions to the boards under which they operate, and therefore then up to the ministers in government to help the consumers.
And if you haven't viewed this week's Public Accounts Committee proceedings on CIGTV or on our YouTube channel's live stream, on Thursday the use of consultants' report was discussed.
On Thursday, we began to deal with the government's consultant report, use of consultants. And we had the fire chief in, and we dealt with the PwC consultancy with him. Many of the questions he was unable to answer, which will be deferred to the chief officer when they show up. And then we also dealt with the other aspect of the consultancies that report by the Auditor General that we're very, very concerned about is the use of temporary help. Because we can't see the government being able to justify bringing in temporary help from outside agencies to the tune of $3 million. That certainly should be a position where the government could hire a number of Caymanians who could be used by various agencies according to demand, kind of a centralized pool of those people. So we think it was 2 good days. We have next week, we have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, when we'll continue to work on the consultant report.
Mr. Miller says the committee is pleased with the latest update from the Auditor General's office on the number of unqualified reports from various civil service entities.
The other important piece of information that came out on yesterday was we asked the Office of the Auditor General, and the Auditor General specifically, to give us an update as to how the auditing was going with the various entities in government. And we were quite pleased that she could report that all the entities had met the statutory deadline of submitting the accounts for her, except the stock exchange. It was the only outstanding one. And that out of the 30 entities that she had completed the audit on, there was 26 that had got unqualified reports, and 4 that got qualified reports. So that's a big improvement. And we want to congratulate the civil service on achieving those unqualified reports.
Again, PAC continues live on CIGTV next Wednesday morning, the 9th of May. In other news, this Friday, Interim Dean of Academic Affairs at the University College of the Cayman Islands, Dr. J.D. Mosley, has been elected to the Board of Commissioners for the International Accreditation Council for Business Education. It all took place in New Orleans in mid-April, where the IACBE held its annual conference and assembly meeting. The Board of Commissioners is the independent accreditation decision-making body of the Council and is responsible for moving forward the accreditation mission of the Council. Now, a press statement tells us the IACBE has hundreds of members, institutions, and campuses worldwide, and has accredited over 1,500 business and business-related programs in the United States, Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Central America, and South America. We say congratulations to Dr. Mosley, as well as UCCI. Well, last Friday, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service added a new member to its canine unit. A police release tells us that Athena is a 2-year-old Dutch herder who is trained to pursue, track, and apprehend suspects and to locate property that has recently been dropped or stolen. For example, if a suspect has attempted to dispose of an item while being pursued, Athena is also being trained to find drugs, firearms, and cash in buildings and vehicles. She's expected to be out on patrol within the next 2 to 3 weeks. She's one of 3 new dogs that will be joining the RCIPS's canine unit over the next few weeks, with the other 2 dogs expected to arrive by early July. Well, for a look at our weekly schedule of shows here on CIG Television, you can go online to gis.gov.ky and click on Publications at the bottom of the page. If you missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. With your CIGTV news update this Friday, I'm Donna Bush, thanking you as always for joining me this week, wishing you a safe and a wonderful weekend, and hoping you'll join me back here again on Monday. Until then, bye-bye for now.